This is In My Lounge Room, and I'm your host, Skye.
And I'm your other host, Damo, and on this week's episode, we're talking about making an effort. Hey Skye, how are you?
Oh, it's been a wonderful week. A great morning as well.
Okay, what's been going on this morning?
Went and bought some basketball shoes for my lovely children.
Oh yeah, of course, yes.
Yeah, and
so that was your entire emotional, or what is it? The amount of energy that you had to spend on anything went into that exercise.
Yeah, and tantrums thrown.
Love that.
Yeah, it was great. When they want $1,000 shoes, and you're like, the budget is $150. No, storming out, tears. That's my 9-year-old.
Yeah, they don't really have a concept of money, do they? They think it grows on trees. And I remember, I'm directly quoting my father there, because I remember being a kid and do you pay the bills? It's about leaving lights on and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, I hear my dad's voice coming out of my mouth.
It's awful, isn't it? When I'm like, and that's what me today. I'm like, this is what you have. You need to be more grateful.
In my day, did you pull out an in my day?
I don't know if I did, but I was close. Oh, I was so close. And and then I'm saying
hang on.
Yes. It's a murder scene.
Great. So it went from it was what? So how much did you force it to make that happen?
Eating my roller and it just came out.
Oh, okay. So that was a quick turnaround because it was but that's baby teeth. They don't have roots. They're just oh, thanks. Yeah, they don't have roots.
No, they're just
they're just kind of as soon as it's their time. And yours is yours probably hung on for a while because you're little. But yours, we're actually recording right now, so I'm going to leave this in. So this is Billy just lost one of her still remaining baby teeth.
That's 2 teeth because Benjamin lost his first
sweet.
tooth about, half an hour ago.
Yeah, all right. So this is probably one of your last baby teeth.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Do you want to chew on a clove as well? It numbs your mouth a bit. It's cool. I did it early. It does taste weird. Here you go. Keep that. We'll sell it on eBay. Can you guys? Who knows?
Close the door.
You
Close
just
the
smile
door.
You'll learn,
Close
mate.
the door.
When women, you can't understand what they're saying. Just
All
smile.
the way.
Just smile and nod and say, tell them they're right. Life advice. No, that's inappropriate. That's a meme. What were we talking about? Buying shoes and the value of money and things. Yeah.
Children.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
there you go.
The beautiful things. I was just about to say, we hadn't even made it to 2 minutes into the episode, and there's kids knocking on the door.
I know. I've lost my tooth suddenly. Just
Well, that's all right. It's
And there was blood everywhere. It was like a murder scene.
Yeah. So you got shoes eventually.
We had to come into the city.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We were going past the city.
Fortunately, it was that we were on our way here. But even so, I did not feel like being on Murray Street.
Weekends in the city are a whole nother ballgame. I've been working in the city for a very, very, very long time now. So, it's just, I go there every day. But going there on the weekend, I'm like, what is wrong with you people?
Oh,
and then I'm
crazy.
Yeah, and I realise that, nobody's there for work.
No, they're there for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just...
Foot Locker was next level.
Yeah.
Intense. Yeah.
They have... Is it Foot Locker where they have a little...
The chute
track thing you can walk on?
Oh, I don't. I would just stay at the front. I'm not sure.
Okay, because there's I saw one of them. I think it was at Karrinyup. They have a little track, and there was this little toddler, and he was running through it like it was a running track. That's
cool.
I'm like, that's great. Keep them occupied doing something else. Speaking of children, did you hear about that poor mum whose baby died?
Oh, in the sling?
Yes, in the sling.
Because I'm a baby carrier from way back.
Yeah.
I wore both my babies, and
I know women that do it as well, and you see the African women who strap them on their backs as well.
I did that. Once Benjamin got too big for the front, he moved to the back. Yeah.
But it's
That's why he's really happy on my back. When I was in Albany.
Okay, yeah. But it's and it's great because you want to keep them close to you.
Yeah.
But that poor woman, she's
could not imagine
the poor
it.
kid. Obviously, they're saying that it had its chin down.
Yeah,
and it's strapped in too close. And when she's opening up, the poor thing.
I could not imagine it. Could you imagine it knowing that you're? Just awful.
And you think you're doing the right thing, and
I always do. I actually went to baby sling like not courses, but like
Yeah.
baby wearing, like where you learnt
Yeah, yeah.
how to wear. So, and I wore specific ones where there was no chance of that happening because the slings,
Yeah.
it's easy done, I think.
I just feel like it is something that could quite easily happen, and be aware that if you're going to use those things, it's not completely safe.
No.
But yeah, poor woman. Also, Robbie Coltrane died.
I know.
Last night,
I know.
yeah.
I read that. He's
So,
amazing. He's
Hagrid,
funny.
yeah.
That's it. No more Hagrid.
See, but I know him from
Cracker?
before that was not the 9 o'clock news when he was like,
no.
he was in a comedy troupe in the 80s, I
There
think
you
it was.
go.
Yeah, when he
Didn't
would have
know
been,
that.
so he would have been in his like 20s or 30s.
Yeah.
Doing like sketch comedy, British sketch comedy.
There you go. I didn't know
So,
that.
yeah.
I just remember him from Cracker. Cracker?
Pretty sure he was.
Was that
Yeah,
called
yeah,
Cracker?
yeah.
And then
the
whatever.
tough guy
yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah,
He was
yeah.
a cop or something. Was
Yeah,
he a cop?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was a bit of a shock because
I know.
like,
And 'cause also Angela Lansbury died during the week.
yes, she did
Yes.
murder. She wrote.
I know.
Yes. Was she murdered?
She was murdered by, I don't know,
By
nothing.
being 90?
Yeah, by
Yeah.
96 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a shame. I'm sure she would have liked to have been murdered.
I feel like she would have if someone investigated.
I know that sounds so morbid, but like, do you think it's hilarious? Like, we're obviously talking. What was her? Jessica Fletcher
Oh,
was
that's
the character.
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
The small town of Cabot Cove where she lived. Okay,
Oh.
so she was a big time mystery
writer?
writer.
Yeah.
And she'd been off and like she'd come back to Cabot Cove to settle down and
yeah,
retire, basically.
yeah.
And then
All these.
murders every week. A murder.
It's bizarre. It's bizarre
Yeah.
how in all these small towns so much happens.
Yeah, well, I don't know how many seasons it went for.
A
but
million.
The amount, if I lived in a small town, and we're talking like small,
Yeah.
like less than 10,000
Yeah.
people, small.
Like tiny.
Yeah, if I lived in a town like that and someone died every week
I'd be
from
moving.
murder,
Yeah.
I'd be like, this is a dangerous place.
Yeah.
It's like...
Oh, Blue Heelers was like that.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Always something
Crime
happening on Blue
Central,
Heelers.
yeah.
Like, it's a country town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up in a country town. It's not like that.
No.
The cops are like just driving around picking on hoons.
Yeah, they're not being all like, oh, let's investigate this, and then they're getting the gloves out and like doing.
No, if there's a murder in a country town, the cops come from the city.
Yeah. No, not on Blue Heelers. I remember one episode like Maggie Doyle did this full Irish song, and it was so dramatic. I'm like, what is this world? Where is this world?
Country practice. There wasn't any murders on a country practice, but there was a lot of medical dramas.
So many medical dramas, like next level.
Yeah, there's probably people listening to this who've never heard of country practice. Or actually,
Or Blue Heelers even.
it makes me think of like there's a girl from work who really, really loves the show, and she told me that she's like telling people about us and like,
She's
which I think is
amazing,
wonderful.
yes.
So go you. But yeah, she's not a native to this country.
Oh.
So many of these things are she's probably completely unaware
Yeah,
of. But
yeah.
feel free to come and ask me at work on Monday.
Yeah, but also
Oh,
Google a country practice.
Yeah.
And Google Blue Heelers.
It's quite hilarious.
Yeah, I used to love it. Monday, Tuesday nights at 7:30. My parents would let me staying up.
What about water rats?
I was never a big Water Rats
Never
fan.
did water
My
rats?
sister
Yeah.
liked that.
It had that hot guy, the
Yes,
silver fox. What was
it
his
did.
name?
Oh, I can't remember now. Was he Maori? Moldy?
No, there was two. Gary Sweet.
Oh, Gary
Yeah,
Sweet.
yeah.
Now, what was he originally? Police Rescue.
And then the guy that played Angel, Police Rescue.
Yeah.
Speaking of hot guys, I was walking through the city on whatever day it was.
Yeah.
And I always dress pretty sharp when I
Yep,
go to work.
yep.
I've no requirement to. I just like to dress like. I've
Yeah,
got
I think it's good
wear a
to,
suit.
rather than like trackies and a
People
t-shirt.
comment and they're like, "Oh, you're all dressed up," and I'm like, "It it separates me from my home clothes because like I've got like 3 jackets, like a couple of suits, right? So I've got 3 jackets. I've got like 6 different pairs of pants that go with those jackets. They all pretty much look the same. And
Yeah.
other people can't tell them. And to everyone else, I probably look like I'm wearing the same
Same
suit
thing every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
I've got 5 different ties and like 5 different shirts. So I just kind of can mix them up.
Love it.
And I was talking to another girl at work who was like, man, that just makes life so easy. I'm like, yeah, I don't need to worry about
Yeah.
what I'm wearing to work. I've got a few suits and a few ties. And if I just wear a different tie with a different shirt
Just
and a
looks like
different
you're-
suit, it's a whole different
Yeah.
outfit. And she's like, yeah, I have to think about what I'm wearing to
Every
work
day.
every single day.
Hey, and then what about me who has to cover my tattoos every day? So I have to like
Yeah, yours come down to your wrists.
Yeah.
So you need to have long
yesterday.
sleeves.
So like yesterday I must have I'd taken my cardigan thing off and I was at my computer and then one of the like women teacher says to me, "Oh, I've just realised you have tattoos, and that's why you're always wearing sleeves, even in summer." And I'm like, I've been here like 3 years.
Yeah.
You've just noticed that?" And she's like, "Yeah." I'm like, sometimes at like this Christmas party, I had my tattoos on display. Yeah, I never noticed.
Oh, it's like for me, like casual Friday. Like, so I'm about as my two looks are about as like diametrically opposed as two things can be. So Monday through Thursday, I got to tell you about the guy anyway. So Monday through Thursday, it's suits and ties, and then Fridays it's this.
Yeah,
what I'm
okay,
wearing
that
right
is
now.
very different.
Jeans and a t-shirt, and generally a black t-shirt because I own about 15 of these black t-shirts.
You do love a good black t-shirt.
I used to wear like band shirts and skating shirts, brands on them and stuff. But they change shape and stuff, and like, and you spend too much money on them. So this is $6 at Kmart. This
Winning.
shirt, and I'm not a big fan of the whole like children in China being
Bangladesh, and
getting paid 8 cents to make my clothes, but it's a $6 t-shirt.
Yeah, go
bonus.
for it. Yeah.
So anyway, I walked past this guy going back to like hot guys on TV, and this dude, and he's walked past me in the other direction, and he had like he looked about my age. Or around. He wasn't like older looking. Like a lot of men my age look 10 years older.
So many.
He had very good head of hair, similar to mine, but it was grayer, and he had a really solid beard.
Like a well-groomed beard.
Like kind of beard I used to have, a very like a length, maybe about 5 to 10 centimeters under his chin, very well shaped, and also grey.
Uses his beard oils, obviously.
Yes. So like you do have to look after yourself. So and I looked. He walked past, and he was also like wearing a jacket, like a suit jacket, pants. He wasn't wearing a suit. Very similar to how I was dressed, basically. I think it was casual Friday.
Did you do a nod?
And I just kind of looked at him. And he's looked at me, and we just kept walking, and I had my briefcase. And then I've turned around to look over my shoulder, and he did exactly the same thing. And I'm like, go you silver fox. I didn't do that.
That's
but I was
hilarious.
Like, he was just, and sometimes you see someone and like, hey, we've got the same look. I mean, I don't have the long beard anymore.
No, but it's pretty much,
It was pretty funny.
That's hilarious. And you had a quick look to be like, yes.
Because of that. Because I'm like, wow, you got the same haircut and you're very beard. And look at your clothes. And I've turned around, and he's gone.
There you go. That's good though.
Is this where I get your number, sir? But no.
Just to share wardrobes.
Yeah. He was similar build. He was
crazy.
A bit smaller. I know. See, I kind of do you ever find like you look at other people and when you can't figure out where you fit in to them?
I have no idea because I think I'm a lot bigger than I am, and then I see photos and I'm like, oh, okay.
Like I see people walking past and I'm like, oh, that's what I look like. And it'll be a guy with like no neck, big double chin.
Oh, yeah,
and really fat. And I'm like, yeah, that's me, big belly. That's what I look like.
And then you realise that's not what you look
like.
like.
And then like if I look in a reflection of me next to them, I'm like, oh, no, I'm not that.
No.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, because there's some photos were taken of of basketball training, at Benjamin's basketball training, me coaching, and I'm like, oh, right, I'm that size. Okay.
I think, I mean, I'm not small, but I think I kind of look at myself in that, like I still look at what I look like when I was really obese. And so like when I see someone else who's that obese, I go, oh yeah, that's me. That's what I look like. It's not you. Yeah.
Whereas I have body dysmorphia, so I totally see nothing like myself.
Yeah, I mean, I just like, I have to tell myself repeatedly that it's okay. But it also doesn't matter like what size you are.
No.
Just as long as you're kind of doing something about making
health.
Sure that you're healthy.
Health is what matters.
Yeah. Don't like because you can be skinny and super unhealthy. Like it's not about how big you are.
Yeah.
I mean, look at like we're talking about heavyweight lifters and heavyweight fighters. Those people at a glance you'd be like, oh, they're overweight.
Yeah, but they're not.
They're not. They just have large bodies. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
what else were we going to talk about?
I didn't ask how your week's been. Has your week?
Oh yeah, well I've been asked to go full-time permanent at work.
Oh, high five!
Because I was on a 6-month contract.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it was indicated to me after about 2 months that was likely to happen.
Has it been 6 months?
No, it's been 4.
Okay, but
on
still.
the 20th of September it will be 4 months. So in 5 days. So this week. So
it's October, by the way.
October.
Yeah. Just in case. Just
it's all
to
right,
make sure
Cretaceous.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. It was kind of after about 2 months. So I hadn't even got to my probation period, which is 3 months standard. my boss has said, "Oh, look, we just want to make sure that you are interested after 6 months on staying on,
Yeah.
because we don't want you thinking that you're going to have to be looking for another job
Yeah,
and stuff.
that's
So
so
if
nice
you're
of them.
interested," I'm like, "Okay." So he said, "I'll just give you the heads up now that we would be interested." I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm going to be here 5 minutes." So then yesterday, went in to have a meeting with my boss about just some cases we're working on, and he's gone, "Oh, first of all, I'm writing a letter to the directors, blah blah blah, and to the board, to make you full-time permanent if you're interested." And I'm like, "Awesome." And he goes, "Well, are you interested?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I absolutely am." So they're offering me that.
That's awesome.
So that was good news.
Yay.
So happy with that.
Yeah.
So
congrats.
now I can buy a new car. Because,
yes. Well, yeah, but technically I've been on contract as well since November 2019.
Okay.
Because originally mine was like a maternity leave, like job share. Then she went back on maternity leave. Then she came back and I was like, "So what's happening?" And they're like, "Oh, yeah, we're keeping you." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I want more." And they're like, "Yeah, we're just keeping you."
Just being in limbo.
Yeah, and then finally they're like, "Yeah, and you're 5 days." And finally I was like, "Right, that's it. You need to tell me or I'm leaving."
Yeah, I remember when you went 5 days.
Yeah, but that was still contract.
Okay.
And then I was like, I'm going to go. I'm going to leave. I'm going to find a new job.
So had your contract been extended for a set period of time?
Yeah, it went to October. And then I noticed and then someone said to me, I can't remember what about, and they're like, "Oh, so what happens in October?" I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "Well, your contract ends in October." I'm like, "This is ridiculous. I'm done." And so I sent an email basically just saying, I need to know that there is no contract.
Yeah.
There is no end date. It's permanent full time. Otherwise I will look for a job and then suddenly, and then I go in and see someone else and they're like, "Oh, hasn't anyone let you know?" "Yeah, all good. You're going to get that to say permanent."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, but no one let me know." So, hello.
Yeah, I mean, because I left my last job before I got to, I think it was 10 months. I got to that point. But it also, when I got the first part of the job and then I got seconded to another position, I wanted to buy a car.
Yeah.
I didn't have the savings sufficient to buy a car. I mean, I could if I wanted to buy a car for a couple of $1,000s,
Yeah.
but I don't want another car that's a couple of $1,000s.
Come on. I love driving a $2,000 car.
It's like, same. It's great.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep that car though, because I want to get a nice car and I'm going to keep that in the garage.
Yeah.
And I'm going to the Camry, which is older than a lot of people I know. I'm still going to use that to run down the shops and stuff. So might as well. It was the last job. It was kind of on secondment. So there's that. Well, no point going and getting a large loan if I don't know how long I'm going to be here.
Yeah.
And then same again at this job, 6 month contract. I mean, it's full time, but it's still only 6 months.
Yeah.
So I'm earning more money at this job than I was at the last job.
But you're still contract.
Yeah, I'm still contract.
Yeah.
So I can afford to borrow the money, but it doesn't matter where you borrow money from. If they go, "Oh, you're full time employed," and you go, "I'm on a 6 months contract," they're like, "We're not giving you any money." So now that I'm once I get my letter saying you're permanent, then I'm like, sweet, I'm going to the bank and go, "Give me large sums of money, please, because I want a nice car."
Same.
Yeah.
I want a nice car too. I love my wagon.
I'm actually going to for the first time in my life, and I know people recommend against it, but I'm going to buy a brand new car that no one else has ever owned.
Do it.
So,
why not?
yeah, and it's also because the car I'm looking at, there aren't any second-hand ones.
Oh.
It's too new.
Is it a Tesla?
No, I'm not buying a Tesla. I was going to buy a Tesla, but just because they have dog mode.
I know you do love
dog
that.
Dog mode is cool. For anyone who's listening who doesn't know what dog mode is, because Teslas run on batteries, you can just leave them on without, turning the air conditioner on is not going to drain the battery any faster. You can't do that in a normal car.
Yeah.
You can't leave it running and turn the air conditioner on. Because people will be able to steal your car, and you also can't just turn the air conditioner on without the engine running because it will flatten your battery in 5 minutes. With a Tesla, it's coming from the battery source that runs the entire power plant, so it's fine. So you can turn your air conditioner on without turning anything else on and lock the car.
Yep.
Without the key, because you don't have an actual ignition key, and your dog. So you have a thing called dog mode. You press dog mode, and your dog.
So you can go to the shops.
Yeah, and you can leave your dog in the car without having to crack the windows, and he'll be comfortable and cool and happy.
Love it. Yeah.
Go Tesla.
Yeah.
But no, I just decided that even though I would love an electric vehicle, I want one that's fun too. So
Okay.
I'm going to buy a midlife crisis fun mobile.
What are you going to buy?
I'm going to buy a Hyundai i30 Sedan N, which is basically a race car.
Yes, very cool. Okay, well, whatever.
So,
yeah,
you know,
why not? If you can.
yeah, they're ridiculously fast, and they're also designed for going on the racetrack. So,
Sounds fun.
So I am also going to speak to a friend of mine who goes to track days, and I am going to start driving my car on a racetrack.
That is cool.
Because why
Okay.
not? Although that will mean I'm going to have to buy spare wheels and tires because
Mm-hmm.
if you take your street tyres on the racetrack, instead of lasting for like 60,000 Ks or whatever it is that they last for, I think 30,000 miles, they'll last for like 100.
Okay.
You know, because
Yeah.
that's a stupid over-exaggeration.
But they-
on the racetrack, you drive them hard. They
You're
wear
burning
out.
rubber.
Yeah, they wear
Yeah,
out. So,
yeah.
you know. But yeah, I'm going to buy a fun car.
Cool.
Anyway, it's enough about spending
Awesome.
money on frivolous
Yeah.
things. It's not
Cars.
frivolous. I need a car.
Woo!
Yeah. At least I'm not out like I've stopped buying knives for the time being.
Yeah, for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't bought a guitar for a long time.
Well done. Yeah.
So, although I went to Cash Converters today and I picked up a bass, played it for a while, I'm like, oh, I could do a new bass, and then put it back down again. Justified to myself that I don't need a new bass. So yeah.
Probably not. You're going to get a new car, so
Yeah.
yay.
Yeah, but
Fun.
you know. But anyway, so we've been talking during the week, which is a new thing for us.
I know, never do that.
But
Shock horror.
you
Although you've been more quiet than normal, I'm guessing because of the song.
because I was really busy, I put about 16 hours into editing and mixing the song from last week's episode. Yeah, it was a little bit
Yeah.
of it was a bit of a week. So no, I haven't. And also work's quite busy, and I can't.
I get it. My work's great. Like I had
Yeah.
a reunion last night.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Great. It was a 10-year reunion. We've got next one in a fortnight is the 20-year. They're just really good at drinking.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like amazing.
And it was 10 years, so there's like 27-year-olds.
27-year-olds. A couple have kids, but the rest are just like, woo! Yeah.
Well, my school reunion, you were saying you haven't had one.
No.
But
Well, I have. I've never been to.
I went to, you just didn't attend.
The first one I was in Canberra,
Yeah,
so
okay.
it's hard. The
Yeah.
second one I just separated from Adrian. I was like, yeah, nothing's good about my life at
okay.
the moment.
So these, well, you just make up a story. You go
yeah.
Romeo and Michelle. You know, you
Oh, I
just
should've.
pretend you
I
invented
invented
Post-its.
Post-its?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like these days, like if you're in Canberra and there was a school reunion,
I could
they
probably
could chuck you
zoom
on
in.
Zoom. Yeah,
Yeah.
they could put you up on a big screen.
But-
so all the
but
people who
then
couldn't
in,
attend, yeah.
What, 2007? 2008, they couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been Skype in those days. And it would have been like,
Yeah.
So why are you holding that pose? It's frozen. Yeah, so my school reunion, I went for the 10-year, and there was a very, very large amount of people who had children and families
yeah.
and businesses and like university degrees
Yeah.
and stuff. And I'm like, I've recorded a couple of albums.
Yeah. Which is cool.
No one's bought them, but I did
Who
it.
cares? You've recorded them.
I've write a lot of songs and I play my guitar, and everyone was like, wow, that's amazing. And I'm like, really? Because like these people had achieved things.
Yeah, but like let's be
And-
honest, having babies and getting married is pretty.
Yeah, a few people had like been, I've been living in London for a while.
That's
and I'm
cool.
like, wow, that's amazing. But then they're all like, one person said to me, they said, you know what's most impressive about what you've done is that I'm like, I don't have any money. I'm broke as hell. You know, I spend all my money on music and like
Yeah.
I don't have any property, or I'm not married. I don't have children.
Yeah.
But people said the impressive thing about you is that you've done what you said you always said you were
Yeah,
going to do.
that's true.
And so that made a lot of people take stock of what they've done, because they're all like, and I remember standing there in like a group of people and they're all like, we've just done what we were told we were supposed to do. Get married, have kids, you know, go to uni, work on your career, like, you know, and you've gone, I want to be in a band, and you did that.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Which is
like,
true.
Yeah.
I mean, most don't. You do exactly what you're told. I
Yeah.
didn't. I went, lawyer, no thanks, mum and dad. Actress, yes, please.
Well, see, but the difference is my mum and dad went, rock star, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Go for your life.
Yeah.
You know, you want to be a musician? Cool.
Yeah.
You've got a job, so you're making money to support being
That
a
rock-
musician.
yeah.
So awesome.
Yeah. Not
know?
that my parents were like anti it. They were just like, why don't you got the marks for law. Why don't you do law? And I was like, no, famous.
Yeah, no. See,
Still waiting.
It wasn't for me. It wasn't about being famous, or
Yeah,
because
me
people are
either.
like, why did you, why did you get into And I always see in interviews and stuff, and like, why did you get into music, or what made you want to be a musician? And for me, it was like, because I couldn't think of anything else that I was good at or that I did.
Well, they do say that. Find something you love and get paid to do it.
Yeah, well, I didn't get paid.
No.
You get money to put back into it.
Yeah.
and that's
So you're
about
getting
it.
paid. Yeah.
Yeah, you get paid, but it's not very much.
No.
It's not. You can't live on it. Well, you can. It's just I couldn't.
No.
But like I wanted to be a chef, but then once I did work experience, and then I worked out that you can't be both.
No.
You can't be a musician
no,
and a
because
chef.
both are evening gigs.
That's it. So
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'll just work. I'll learn to cook really well, and I'll be a musician. But
There you go.
but yeah, it was getting that level of support. So anyway, going back to what I was saying, because I'm remembering our tangents here.
Yeah,
Which is why I'm looking.
they are
That's
impressive.
why I'm looking over here because I'm accessing that
Okay.
part of my
And
brain.
then you see me go,
Yeah, no, I'm just looking.
what's over there?
But you know, like that's that body language is like when you're talking to someone, you know they're lying because they'll look up and to the left because that's the part of your brain where you keep your lies. Apparently, that's creative,
left.
the creative part of your
I
brain.
just looked at the left.
Whereas
then.
the other part is like that's your logical side. So when you're thinking, trying to actually remember things, I could have my left and my right mixed up.
No, I think
but
you're
one
right.
side you look for
Because
lies.
I just looked to the right when I was saying. I think
when
you're
you
right.
look for facts, you look to the right because
Yeah.
you're looking for that part of your brain.
Yeah, liars look to the left.
Yeah.
Look,
I don't
left
know.
liars.
On the left, to the left. Or they have astigmatism and their eyes go better that
different
way.
ways, yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, so talking about messages because at the top of the show mentioned, I feel like I have just talked for the last 5 minutes solid, by the way, so I'm going to shut up in a minute.
Okay.
So I was telling stories.
Where did I put my phone?
I don't know. Did you live with under your butt?
That's how I roll.
Yeah. Lucky
Yeah.
it's not like 2008 because you would have been burning by now.
I
Remember when
would've.
phones used to get super
Yes.
hot? Remember that whole thing with iPhones exploding?
Yes, that was
Yeah.
crazy. Like iPhone 4 or something.
Yeah.
Yes. I had one of those that never exploded.
Yeah, no, thankfully. But no, thankfully these days they don't put anywhere near the amount of heat they used to. They've worked that out. So anyway,
Yes.
you sent me a message
Okay.
because you were chatting to a guy.
Who
and-
seemed awesome.
Yeah, and then the whole like... he said something about meeting you for a drink or something. I'm going to get you to read it in a second.
Okay. So I'll read you. This is the message he sent me. He goes, if I want to buy you a drink, because he said, where are you? And I was like, I'm Mandra. And
Yeah.
he's like, I'm Freo. And I'm like,
Hold on.
yeah.
That's not that far away.
Right?
I thought you were going to say he was like in freaking Guelph
No.
or something like
No,
north of the
Freo.
river. Yeah, okay.
It was like 54 kilometres or whatever, right? If I want to buy you a drink, it'd be a long drive with the face with the line mouth.
Yeah.
Is that like serious face?
Would show me. It's just a flat. Okay,
Yeah.
So just a flat mouth
Yeah.
and dead eyes. It's
Yeah.
very much like deadpan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And then he's like, do you come to this side of the world often? We're still all south, you moron, with a wink face. And I'm like, you need to change your kilometre radius then if you can't make the effort to drive. I'm always making the effort and a bit over no one reciprocating.
Yep.
Then his response. Do you want to read his response?
I'll read his response because I can do man. I don't have my phone. I'll read it
yeah.
directly from yours.
You can do man voice.
Where is his response?
hang on.
This is a photo.
Yeah. Hey,
That's a screenshot.
That's it. That's his response.
Oh, okay. Hey, I hear you, and I sort of feel your qualifying
Sort of.
statement. Qualifying statement. You don't need to put qualifying statements on things like, it's like yes, but like I'm not
Yes.
racist, but
Yeah.
you know, like no. So
You're
you're
either
not
racist or you're
Yeah,
not.
You're not.
Yeah.
Or anything but. Or like I understand, but. Well, then you don't understand. Or
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying, but. Or I agree with you.
But I don't.
I don't. Like, you don't need a qualifying statement. If you're going to agree, frickin' just agree. Hey, I hear you, and I sort of feel your pain, so I don't.
Yeah.
If this is something that happens to you often, right? Okay, you've clearly stated that it is.
Yeah.
Please don't take any offence, none intended, but it's a big ask for a quote-unquote stranger. That's creepy.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you happen to be around where? Be around him?
Around Freo, apparently.
Yeah. I'm happy to meet for a drink or food. I'm happy to. I'll accommodate you.
So nice of
I'm
you.
gonna break down these people.
I know.
I think far too much about the way people talk.
Yeah.
But we discussed that last week with communication.
I
It's really
know.
not that hard.
It isn't.
Anyway, if you happen to be around, I'm happy to meet for a drink or food, even if it's as a friend. And then he had to put in without benefits.
I know.
Smiley face.
Do you want me? Should I read my response?
Read your response to that.
My response is, it's a big ask, ? Ha, ha, ha. Oh, my God. Well, I make the effort for strangers. Please. That's literally like, please.
Please.
I don't need friends.
Did you roll your eyes there? Please.
Yeah, I wanted to. I don't need friends.
Girlfriend.
Right. Girls 5 ever.
Ever. Yep.
I don't need friends. I've got plenty who will actually drive to Mandurah and vice versa.
See, I was going to say to you, tell him I've got a friend who drives nearly 60 kilometres and I do the same on a fortnightly basis. We both do because we're friends.
Yeah.
So if you can't drive 30 freaking minutes.
Yeah.
Like seriously, how long does it take to get here? 50 minutes.
Maximum.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like a 50-minute journey from my house to your house, right?
Fine.
And we both do that.
Yeah.
And he can't go from Fremantle to Mandurah, which is like
It's
what is
probably
it?
about the same
45
amount.
minutes?
Or even like meet halfway, you know?
Dude.
Oh, I was like, get stuffed, whatever.
But like, and it's kind of you did touch on this in a couple of episodes ago when you were talking about that drive back on Tonkin Highway where you were just going, what the fuck am I doing? Like I'm constantly driving all the way to this person's house.
I don't mind driving, but...
Well, that's why I'm buying a nice new car because
Right.
I love driving.
Yeah, and I like driving too. And I don't mind it. It's more that it's that whole like, you know, I drive one time, you drive the next. And that's like how you and I work
It's
it.
called give and take.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
No, stop.
Or making an effecate and effecate. What the fuck word is that? It's because I was about to say reciprocate and my brain was too far ahead of my mouth. Right?
I love a good effecate.
I'm going to go effecate. Is that like defecating but a bit more? What the fuck? Word of the week.
Effecate.
Effecate. I need to Google that and see if that's a real
I'll
word,
do it
but
right
I don't
now.
think it actually is.
It totally isn't, but
We
let's
need
check
to-
anyway. I'm Googling.
Making the effecate. It's
How would you
reciprocating.
spell that?
Effecate. So EFFICATE.
It's a word.
Is it? What does it mean? I know what efficacy is.
No,
But-
it's not.
Because efficacy is like, it's like efficiency, but effective efficiency. When you do something, how effective something is. So the efficacy of a, why am I thinking, like, I don't know, the efficacy of a knife is how sharp it is.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Okay.
It's not a word. Someone
Effecate.
asked the question.
Effecate. Is this effecate a word? I heard it on a podcast.
It's not a formal word.
See, Damo comes across as all educated
So-
and shit, and he's making up words.
Someone says,
Cretaceous.
is effecate a word? Not a formal word, but most of our current day mobile texting is not formal.
No, it's, yeah.
I use effecate as, what can I do to best effecate Laura's design?
You sound like a fucking idiot. Don't say it.
I don't make up words and what can I do to effecate this?
Imagine standing up in front of a conference and saying, so to effecate, and like say it with conviction, and people will just go, wow, I've never heard of that word. He must be really smart.
Very smart.
Oh, God. But it's like, what's that word that has now joined the dictionary and it really pisses me off? What am I thinking? It's,
I don't know.
you can't think in my
No.
brain.
I can't.
It doesn't matter. It's going to come to me later.
Okay.
But
It's a new word. Is it like a texting
it's a
word?
wrong word.
Oh, wrong word.
It's wrong. And it's now being used. It's like now the word literal is now being, that's okay, we can use it to describe things which are
Literal?
figurative.
Oh, that makes zero
Like-
sense.
No, because it's like people use it like, I literally died. No, you didn't.
No,
If
but
you
people
literally
don't really
died, you wouldn't be.
understand what literal
No.
means.
So
Yeah.
now I think it's Oxford or whatever.
Yeah.
They've now got it in there. Literal can be used in other contexts to describe something that's figuratively happening. Like, no.
I can't believe they've allowed that because people are idiots.
Yeah, because people are idiots. Anyway, going back to effecate.
Yes. I
It's
think people
okay
should
to put in
effecate.
effort.
Yes.
If people effecate.
Yes.
No, if people reciprocate the effort.
Yeah.
That is my determination of the word effecate, by the way.
Okay.
It's
Reciprocation
reciprocating of effort.
Oh, I like it. Okay, effecate. Cool.
Effecate. So
We should submit it to Oxford.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And then can I put like a TM on it?
Why not?
Trademark registered?
Well,
yeah.
because here is a
It's my
recording.
word.
It's
Effecate,
official.
yeah. So yeah, it does. It's not about not putting an effort or not, and that's the whole point of what you said in there. Is like you're always putting in the effort.
Yeah.
Now there are some things which like it's equal effort doesn't have to be on the same thing. So whilst you're like something like driving a really long way, that is something you want to balance out because it costs you money.
Yeah.
You know, it's wear and tear on your vehicle. It's your time.
I was driving and spending money on a babysitter. The effort back to me was cooking me dinner. I feel like that is a very unbalanced.
It is, yeah. Cooking dinner, which is something I do, but I don't see that as an effort.
No.
Like to me, it's like because
you don't effocate
cooking
dinner?
I don't need an effocate for cooking dinner. It's not about that. And it's for me, it's cooking's not a chore. For some people, it's a chore.
Yeah.
So for them, but I see it the other way. Like if someone cooks for me, like who isn't into cooking, but they go out of their way to make the effort to cook for me. It doesn't matter if they've put frickin' beans on toast or heated up some 2-minute noodles.
They've made the effort. They've
made an effort. For me, I'll be like, here's a 3-course gourmet meal that I've just spent the last 4.5 hours cooking.
But you've loved every minute of it.
Yeah, I spent 6 hours going across 4 different suburbs to find the ingredients and like making this thing. That to me is great. Love it. And like to selecting the right knife and like all. I'm like, that is not an effort. Some people will go, "Oh, you've made a massive effort." No, I haven't.
No,
I've done something I really love doing.
Yeah.
But so therefore, I think effort is on a graded scale.
Yeah.
So
true.
For someone who loves cooking, you driving all that way, that's not effort. They were going to do it anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But driving 50 minutes and spending $100 on a babysitter.
Yeah.
That's next level.
Yeah. And then for this kind of situation, going back to old mate who was like, decided to be a patronising dick about the whole thing.
Totally patronising.
What are you doing swiping on people who are 50 kilometres away?
Exactly. Change your kilometre radius.
Unless you are that self-centred that you're just going to expect that they're going to put in the effort you don't have to.
It happens to me all the time though. Like, and I was talking to our friend Sarah, because I screenshot that and said
Sarah, who doesn't listen to the show.
That's the one. Yeah. So we really should just call her name, but we won't.
But at this point, her name's Sarah. It doesn't matter what her name is.
Yeah. So I showed a screenshot and like I sent that screenshot to her, and she's like, "Oh," she goes, "It's just pathetic." Like, and it happens to her all the time as well. Like, no one.
Because she's down Rockingham.
Yeah. So it's not as far as Mandurah, but.
It's different to Mandurah.
It is.
Like, at least driving to Mandurah, you may not get as stabbed.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's
driving
very
to Rockingham, there's always that chance that your car's going to get stolen and you're going to get... Sorry, Rockingham listeners, but you live in a dodgy place.
You do.
It's okay.
Yeah.
So do I.
I would never live there. I live in Mandurah. Yeah. It's much classier.
Methandra.
Yeah, with all the
Crackingham, yeah.
Right. So, and Nollamara, also another.
I don't know. Here's me in the northern suburbs thinking I'm all fancy, but yeah.
Do you know, when I moved north the first time, because I was in like living south, and I moved north with Adrian, and we moved to Westminster. Yeah, which is just over there.
Yeah,
and
it's over there actually.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Anyway, yeah, you're right.
It's that way.
Yeah.
I'm going to cut that out. I don't want people knowing what street I live on.
No, true.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I moved to Westminster, and I was like, I thought it was like a classy suburb. It sounds classy. Yeah.
No, they renamed South Balga
to Westminster to try and get more people living there.
Well, yeah, it's like there's a part of Linwood called Pepperwood.
Oh, right.
Yes, because Pepperwood.
Oh, much nicer.
Sounds lovely.
Well, apparently Nollamara was originally Mount Yokine. And they changed it.
Okay.
Which I think Mount Yokine sounds lovely.
Well, yes, it is, man, because Yokine's down the hill a bit. So at the top of the hill.
Classy.
Yeah. So we have Mount anything. So you have Mount Hawthorne, Mount Lawley.
Mount Yokine.
Yes, because we have so many mounts in Perth. It's so hilly.
I know, but it sounds very classly.
Yeah,
so
we're going to talk like this for the rest of the show now.
Well, I lived in Mount Yokine for a number of years.
Okay. I've lived in so many different bloody suburbs over the years.
Yeah.
But yeah, so effort needs to be efficated.
It does.
It just sounds filthy.
It just happens all the time to me. Seriously, I will message someone saying, they're like, "Oh, just noticed you're a long way." And I'm like, 60 kilometres? And they're like, "Yeah. Ever come this way?" And I'm like, "Do you ever come this way?"
Yeah.
I'm just sick and tired of that conversation.
Like, Jesus. Okay. Facts with Damo. Perth is the largest city in the world.
Yes, we know that.
We cover 6,244.8, I think, square kilometres. Right? 6,244 anyway. I'm picturing that number in my head, so that's the number I'm going with.
Okay.
It's big.
It is.
It goes from... It's like Mandurah in the south because now it's all connected.
It is all connected, yeah.
To freaking whatever it is in the
Burns
north.
Beach
whatever. It's 120 something kilometres, I think, or it's probably more, 150.
Yeah.
I'm not going. Let's say I'm making
long.
this figure up, right?
Yeah.
It's freaking long because we've got hills and ocean.
Yeah.
So it can only get that direction. But it's also we don't have high-rise living.
No, it's just all big blocks.
There's big, and it's spread out like hell.
Yeah.
If you live in Perth, and this is why I want a nice car to drive in, because I'm looking at it going, it's a track day car. It's designed for racetracks. It's fun to drive. It's very powerful.
But it's comfortable?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it has a lot of settings and stuff. You can change it.
Cool.
Really well rated
Heated
car.
seats?
Heated and cooled.
Oh, nice.
And it's also the remote, because the keyless entry and it's got a start button.
Yeah.
You can start the car from outside the car with a button on the remote.
Mum's car's like that because Mum's got a Honda too.
And then you can turn, you can have the Hyundai.
Yeah.
You can have the, although in America they call them Hyundai, I think.
Hyundai?
But anyway, they're Americans. They do their own
thing. It's hard
thing.
to do a couple of syllables.
Yeah,
isn't it?
well, it's America. Why would they do anything the rest of the world does?
Well,
They do their own thing.
Pounds.
Yeah. Well, I mean, miles.
Yeah, pounds and miles.
Why would you want to use the metric system?
No.
The entire world does
I
it.
wouldn't. I'm 5'6".
Why would you want to compete in other people's sports when you can have your own sports that you're the best at, like baseball. World Series?
Although I know at least we don't call AFL World anything.
No, we just call it Australian rules football.
Yeah, but
it's not World anything.
No, everything's a World Series. Oh, hang on. Yeah, baseball. What about American football?
No, they have the Super Bowl because that sounds impressive. But you can start the car with the remote and get the air conditioner on and the seat warmers going or whatever it is.
I had to be truthful. Those seat warmers. I was in a workmate's car. We were driving to the other campus, and she put the seat warmer on. And then I'm like, oh, I feel like I've wet myself. It does feel really weird.
You know
She's
what?
like, yeah, that's a normal.
I had a Jeep Grand Cherokee once that had seat warmers in it. It had leather seats as well.
Nice, yeah.
So I would turn the seat warmer on the passenger without telling them on a hot day.
That's terrible.
And they'd be like, sweating.
Oh, really? Sweaty.
Oh, is the air conditioner on? Yeah, what's wrong?
Oh, that's just mean.
I just feel really hot. Oh, that's
Am
weird.
I going through menopause really early?
That's really weird. Like in the butt area by any chance? Yeah.
You're an asshole.
How
That's
do
just me.
we get on that? So driving. So I want a driver's car because I live in a big freaking city. I love driving.
Yeah.
The roads aren't the best for driving that kind of car on, but then I'm like, I drive down the freeway. And I'm not going to do 250 kilometres an hour on the freeway.
No, but you want to be comfortable.
If the car can do 250 kilometres an hour. I want to have a nice drive.
That's fair.
And engaged in my vehicle.
Well, apparently not everyone wants to do that.
No, and but getting back to why. I have theories why. Okay, so the question I was going to ask.
I'm shocked.
So the question I was going to pose is, why do you put 60-kilometre radius on your dating app if you're not prepared to travel that far, unless you were being presumptuous and saying, well, she can come to me.
Always, yes.
Right, so that just paints you as a bit of a dickhead.
Yeah.
I think it's because these men, because of the way they act, because of the way that men act on dating apps, right, it does... That didn't even come out. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard it, but then it just stopped.
It got to about here and I'm like, are you coming?
No, it went done. I resign.
There's a word for that, by the way. There's a medical term for those noises that might go inside the stomach and stuff.
Tummy stuff.
Yeah, medical. It's a big long medical word.
Cool.
So it's not just that's a red flag because you're going, oh well, I'm not prepared to do that. Shouldn't have looked. I think it's because the way that men act on dating apps causes them to have a lot of dead-end conversations.
Oh, so many.
Conversations don't go anywhere, and then they blame the women for it. It's their fault. I mean, obviously, women do it too. I've had the same kind of experience with women. The conversation goes nowhere. Actually, I was having a chat with someone about that the other day about how they're coming back from a conversation. Like, you
Like
know.
when it's died.
Yeah.
Oh.
When people message you and then like...
Oh, I know, right?
Hey,
You're like, why are you even messaging me?
what is going on here?
Yeah.
It's like, why didn't you block them? I'm like, I can't be bothered blocking
No,
everybody.
but also like, why you go away?
Yeah. Or there's people you're having a good conversation with and then the conversation dies and then they message you a few weeks later and then you're like, okay, well, I know what happened here. You met somebody.
Yeah.
You've gone and spent some time doing that and then you've gone, I'm going to go back talking to this guy because he's good. I don't care about that. I'm happy to do that. Like, because once again, I deal with women and women are easy to get along with.
That's
like,
true.
Women don't do the whole abusive rejection thing where like you tell them you don't want to see them or whatever and they're like, fuck you, bitch.
Yeah, look at you. You're so ugly. You get no one. All that.
Hi,
Like,
friend. I've probably said this before and she was... Guy comes on the dating on the app and he's like, "Oh, you're so beautiful, you're so hot. Look at your mouth. Oh, you're so lovely. Well, you know, would you suck my dick?" And she's like, "No, fuck off. Who'd want to fuck you anyway? You fat ugly bitch." Excuse me, you.
yeah.
Literally 30 seconds ago.
Yeah. Oh, I was talking to someone today who told me this story about a girl who went on. So she met this guy. She went on a date. He was 5 minutes late. Turns up, and he said she was like an attractive, like looking woman. Turns up, looks her up and down, and was like, "No," and walked off.
Fuck you, mate.
Who does that?
Creeps.
Yes.
So yeah, because of that kind of behaviour, I feel that these men are probably not getting a hell of a lot of successful matches or
say
dates
not.
that are successful.
Yes,
so
they're going
therefore
out,
they're going
further out.
I'll stretch my radius
To the deep south.
Yeah, and I might find someone who is more suitable for me.
Maybe
because
some
I'm a
little
dick.
lady from Mandra.
Yeah, I'm going to go down there and hey,
She's
man.
going to drive all the way to Perth.
I got to talk a bit slower though.
It's true.
Actually, it's not Meriden. It's not Meriden. It's okay.
No, it's Mandra.
Oh God, I can't imagine living in Meriden and trying to use a dating app.
Well, what would it be? Would you get many swipes?
There'd be like 15 people.
Yeah, weird.
Like if that. Like you'd be like, okay. Well, I guess I'm going to open my radius an extra 100 kilometres so I can swipe on the 12 people in Southern Cross.
Yeah, that would be.
Is there anyone in Northam? Like
That would be
you
quite
have
depressing.
to travel. I remember. I remember
I remember when I was little.
I remember one time
at
band camp. Isn't it obligatory to say band camp after you've said one time?
I feel like it is one time at band camp.
So I remember this time I went to a party. I met this girl. The party was in Calabaran, which is another town. So I started seeing this girl, and it just meant that if I wanted to see her, I had to drive to Calabaran. It's 50 it's like 110 k's now, or in those days. 180 kilometers now.
I was gonna say,
I drove very fast. I lost my license twice before I was 21. But anyway, that's
I
another
lost
story.
mine once before I was 21. That's pretty good though.
I like going fast.
Same.
Which is the risk in buying a new fast car is like, I've got to be very careful, which is why I need to pay track fees and go to a racetrack.
That's right.
And
so
I
you can be
drive
good
as
for the
fast
rest
as
of the
I want
time.
there.
Yes.
So it was just some of those things. Like you live in a country area, you are going to have to travel sometimes. And even just and they don't care. I think maybe that's why I don't care because I used to have to travel to Perth.
I mean, Mandurah isn't that far, but you get used to
it's
driving.
not the country.
Yeah,
It's
but
still
you do get
city,
used to driving to Freo or to blah blah blah.
So maybe it's just him. Would say was from Freo. So you think
he was from Cuba? He was Cuban.
Ah,
yeah.
Okay. How long had he been in Australia? Did you get to that?
No, because he didn't want to
drive.
drive.
Oh, he's straight up. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but maybe it was because he's used to walking down the street.
I don't know. I
don't know either.
I think maybe people in Freo. I would think that if you lived in Freo, you'd probably get used to travelling a bit because, if you wanted to go to the city, that's a fair way away.
Yeah, it's sort of away from everything. Freo is quite a strange place.
But it is. It doesn't. It's got everything you need, but it doesn't have big department stores and stuff like that. So if you wanted to go,
cafes.
Yeah, I mean, and there are places to shop,
Yeah.
but it's more like going to, somewhere like Claremont, for example.
Yeah.
But when you live closer to the city, from where I am, this is why I love living here. I can go to Carrinup, I can go to Whitford's, isn't far.
I do
for
miss.
me, it's not far.
I do
It's
miss
20
living in
minutes
Nullamara. It
away.
was awesome. I'd be in Mount Lawley all the time, Leaderville. I loved it. Yeah.
Mirrabooka's just down the road. You got to kind of wear body armour, but don't know what I go to Yokeheim for. Dog Swamp is down. No, that's Noranda.
It is actually.
Yeah, but anyway,
I used to go to like yeah.
So there's lots of kind of like, and where you are in Mandurah, you've
Just the whole
got
of
IGA.
I'm not allowed there. I'm banned. Remember?
Yes.
Twice, just so we're clear.
But it's like when you live in certain areas, you are going to have to travel. But either way, I know we're kind of focusing a lot on the travel aspect of it, but it comes down to it's not hard to put a little bit of effort in. And one of those things is the way you talk to someone, how much effort you put into conversation.
Yeah. But I've even had like people not unmatch me, but just not be so interested when I do admit that I don't eat a lot of meat. You know, like I'm not a vegetarian, but I'm not a big carnivore either.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, I'm like, well, I haven't said that like I'm a vegan, but even if I am a vegan, who cares? But exactly. Yeah.
I work with a guy who's vegetarian. I've had some really cool ethical conversations with him this week. We're actually talking about horse racing.
Yeah. Wow.
And because Melbourne Cup's coming up,
It
and
is
then there's
coming
emails come out saying, the building's hosting an event on the ground floor. You put your name in. And I said to him, you wouldn't be into Melbourne Cup, would you? And he goes, oh, hell no.
No.
I said that horse racing?
Yeah.
He said, oh, no. I said, oh, good, because neither am I.
Yeah.
I eat meat, but I don't
You don't like to whip a horse to go
No,
make it
I
go
don't
fast so
like-
people
I
can
don't-
win money?
I don't like putting money on making an animal
Pain?
do something
Yeah.
for potentially dangerous for my entertainment. No. Dog
No.
racing, horse racing,
All
any of that kind of stuff.
I don't
no.
like any of it. The good thing about working at a school is that we don't do it.
Yeah.
We're too busy. Well, I'm not obviously educating the kids,
I mean,
but
there's other ethical issues with like the fact that I eat meat. They're being, animals being bred just for slaughter. That's not
True.
great.
No, it's not great.
But they're not being bred to be treated like shit their whole lives.
No.
For my entertainment. They might not be treated that great, but at least farmers are trying to get better and better.
Yeah, and they
One
are.
of the things that I've started eating, kangaroo. Right?
Yes. Well, when I had my, I don't think I discussed my amazing meal, my Noongar Mexican.
Oh, when you went on your
feast.
cultural adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah. You did mention you had a Noongar Mexican feast.
Yeah, so the owner of this company, he's Mexican, but his wife's Noongar. And so they've combined and made this fusion. And I got to have like just these amazing like Mexican sort of style like kangaroo meat pies and
It'd be so cool because like things like finger limes, for example, would be rad with Mexican food because of like the whole lime.
he made this
usage,
Mexican like salad that we had. There
bush
was
tomatoes.
Yeah, there was like some sort of bush potato taco, lemon myrtle jelly. Oh, I
Nice.
could just go on
There
forever.
needs to be
Kangaroo
more.
stew.
I mean, it's Noongar
Lemon
for us because
myrtle.
you've got the Wujang Noongar people around
Well,
here.
we're Noongar,
Yeah,
and
so we're not Noongar.
No, sorry, no, as in no, I know, you know what I mean.
You're Jewish and I'm descended from Scots, but
I'm not even close.
Yeah.
The region, the area.
Yeah, that's where we are. The southwest of Western Australia is the Noongar people. The Budja Noongar. Budja, what is it?
Wajak.
Wajak Noongar.
We're Binjarra. We're in the
God, I have to
Binjarra
do-
area in Mandurah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to remember. I'm going to write it down because when I do, I've got a presentation to do at work on Monday, so I've got to remember to do the.
Yeah, are you going to do the
acknowledgement of
acknowledgement?
country? Yeah, I always do.
And
yeah.
everyone realises that a welcome can only be done by a Noongar Aboriginal
Yeah, it's
person,
not-
and an acknowledgement is by.
It's just
white
say
person.
we acknowledge the traditional custodians
yeah.
of the land,
Oh,
past, present, emerging.
A lot of people
yeah.
don't realise the difference between a welcome and an acknowledgement.
Well, it's just to say like where we are right now, especially in the city,
Yeah.
because we're on reclaimed land. Like so,
it's pretty much it's same as
reclaimed
Mandurah.
not in a an ethical sense,
No.
but in an actual physical sense, because where the city is, that was swamp, and so they filled it up with sand. That's called reclaiming. I know you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about, but for those who don't, so it's reclaimed. Well, people who don't live in Perth,
That's
'cause there are
true.
those people.
Yeah.
So Perth is built on reclaimed swamp. So the Noongar people in this area have a strong connection to the river because of the woggle, which is the rainbow serpent, which lives in the river. Dreamtime creature. So the city itself. That was where the woggle lived. So I think it's important in the city, especially, to acknowledge that the land that we are on previously belonged to or still belongs to.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got to pay homage to the fact that we're on their land.
Yeah, and we're very lucky and we should feel privileged. Yeah. Do you know I've done a different note but sort of similar that I have done triathlons and I've swum in the Swan River and it is disgusting.
Yeah. Oh, man, I'm
Yuck.
sure it's better than like the Ganges.
I
or,
mean,
or
but
the Hudson.
definitely I had like this gross like sweat mud face. It was just disgusting.
Remember when that plane crashed in the Hudson River?
Yeah.
Like, and all the amount of people that caught like diphtheria from
Yes.
it. And
Whoa.
it's rank.
Apparently, well, the rule was when I did the triathlon at Perth in the river, we weren't allowed to put our feet on the ground. They were like, don't put your feet on the ground until you get to those metal stairs that we've installed and then step on those.
Okay.
Yeah. That's not a good thing to say.
Right. What the hell's in there?
Okay, thank you. Lots of glass,
Shopping
apparently.
trolleys and
cars
shit,
and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, so why are we talking about that? Oh, kangaroo. So we're talking about ethical matters.
And you've been eating more
I've
kangaroo.
been eating kangaroo because kangaroo is not farmed. Like,
that's true. It's a natural.
Yeah, they go out like they still. When you eat the kangaroo that we eat is hunted,
and it's
not
so
farmed.
delicious. Yeah. Well, I was all like, yeah, no kangaroo now. Suddenly, after having my recent meals and going, kangaroo stew is the best.
It's also like I get a fillet, okay, and then I slice it a little bit thinner because they're big chunks of meat. I don't really want to eat it. You got to eat medium rare like beef.
Okay.
But
cool. What about do you do kangaroo like mince?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not enough fat.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's
what a silly
it's
thing
too
to
lean.
say.
Like if I'm going to use mince, I want it to be fatty because I'm going to make burgers out of it. Or something
what about
like
a shepherd's pie with like kangaroo mince? How would that be? Do you think?
Well, technically, it wouldn't be a shepherd's pie.
No, it would be like
lamb
a
because it'd
bushman's
have to be a
pie.
shepherd.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't make. I wouldn't. Interesting.
Okay. Let's pretend we didn't hear that.
They got those giant post-it notes.
Yeah. They're having fun.
I just put my arms out like it's
giant,
this big.
Giant post-it note.
Yeah, they are. They're huge. They're for putting on the wall.
Yeah. We're just going to pretend.
Yeah.
No one is crying.
No, it's all good. It's just noises. But yeah, kangaroo meat is much higher in protein than beef. It's better for the environment because
leaner.
It's way leaner. It's higher in iron and other necessary vitamins, which I can't think of right now.
That's okay.
But zinc is one.
Oh,
yep.
Well, you need zinc.
I need the zinc because I'm a man.
Yeah.
I
need iron.
Yes. And from an ethical point of view, as I said, because they're not farmed, it's also better for the environment because there's no like cattle trampling down the earth and releasing ridiculous amounts of methane.
And like having to like cut down trees in order for the
kangaroos
cattle
are just out there in the billions.
I need to definitely. I've been
giving
my dog kangaroo meat and rice and things like that a lot lately, and she's been loving it. She loves me now.
Cats love it. Yeah. Oh God, I've read this thing. I don't know if this is not really relevant, but people making their animals vegan is just wrong.
That is so wrong.
So wrong. It's like making your children vegan. You kind of can, but you need to make sure you know what you're doing.
So hard. I feel like my boys aren't big meat eaters, probably because of me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they eat meat, and I make them eat meat.
I think I've told you about when Billy was little, and she didn't want to eat beef. Her reason for that, and I'm like, cool, then eat whatever you want. I can get protein in you however I need. I'll just slip protein powder into your food if I have to.
Yeah.
Because we need it. But her reason for not liking beef is because she went to like the cuddly animal farm on a school thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you say that, right?
Yeah.
The reason she didn't want to eat beef is because cows are big and smelly.
They are.
And a bit scary.
Yeah.
She likes pork. Because pigs are cute.
They are cute.
So she would rather eat the animal that's cute.
Have you been to a piggery though? God, it smells disgusting.
I grew up in the country.
Yeah.
But so her rationale for the animal that she chose to eat was the cute one.
Cute.
Because
so she was happy to kill the cute one.
Yeah. Whereas most people
hilarious. Opposite way.
Like, I'll eat fish because fish don't have.
They're fine.
They're a bit dumb.
Scales. Yeah. Whatever.
But
so, do you know? When I became a vegetarian, I saw a lamb slaughtered because I was living in Pinjarra, but I'm in the end, I wasn't on a farm, and I was like, that's it. I'm a vegetarian, but I will eat net caught fish, which is actually worse.
Yeah.
And like dolphins die.
Yeah, See, I grew up in the country and I had a friend who had a farm, Italian family. So
Great sausages.
I had witnessed like the pigs that they had were for personal use. Like they ran sheep and they did wheat and, I think they're diversified these days, canola and stuff. But when I was growing up, my mates, grandparents, wheat and sheep. The sheep, you see them getting shorn. Mulesing was an interesting thing. Shorn the sheep, yes, good pun there. Seeing an animal get mulesed, do you know what that is?
Yes.
Yeah, that is graphically brutal.
Yes, I've never seen it and I don't want to.
It's horrid.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like, so for me these days, I don't eat a lot of lamb.
I never
because the smell of it cooking is the same as the smell of them getting seared, their tails cut off with a hot iron or their testicles.
That's enough. Yeah.
So so that to me is like that was a horrific memory. But I've also seen pigs getting killed and then made into sausages. So like early on, I had that connection to animals becoming food and seeing the process of them becoming food and like chickens and stuff like that. But it's very difficult for me. I don't have the moral character or the strength to be able to not eat meat.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds like a cop-out, but I can't bring myself not to.
Yeah.
I know that sounds stupid.
You know what? I could, and if I didn't have the boys, I would definitely. But to make 2 meals, I just don't have the energy. So when I don't have them that week, I'll have a couple of like vegan or vegetarian meals. But I need protein to lift.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I'll eat like tuna from a can, high protein, chicken breasts, high protein, and kangaroo.
I'm going to start eating more kangaroo.
Yeah, it's only on occasion when I feel like making burgers that I'll go and buy some beef and I'll make my own mince.
So kangaroo, do you think it would be good in a stir fry?
Yeah, for sure.
Great. I'm going to do that.
Lean, you don't want too much fat in your stir fry because it will affect the sauce.
That's why I often use I mainly do chicken stir fries.
Great.
Oh, I'm going to give it a go.
If you don't like the taste of kangaroo, it's really easy to cover up with the flavours.
Well, I've had like beef, like kangaroo stew.
Yeah.
I've got this.
Yeah, it's good. But no, I highly recommend eating kangaroo over beef.
How are you going today?
Yeah, but it's, well, I'm not there. So, no, I do think it's much better. But and I love pork, but,
it's really, because obviously I'm not practicing Jew, but also I really struggle with the concept of, so I do have bacon and sometimes, but I never have ham. I never really have pork.
Pigs are magical animals.
Yeah.
Pork, bacon, ham, all
I just really struggle.
Yeah.
And if I went back to, which I'm not planning on practicing, I think, well, then I can't. But yeah.
Shellfish, you can't have shellfish when you're Jewish, can you? That's not kosher. But you can't anyway.
I can't anyway. So it's like it was meant to be.
You can't eat Cretaceous.
I can't eat Cretaceous. Or crustaceans, whatever. Same.
Or aquatic, what was the word?
Mollusks?
No, mollusk is the word that covers the arthropods.
Okay, cool. Yeah. That.
But anyway, we are talking about food.
How did that happen?
It's a thing. Hey, can we just speaking of food, we got so we mentioned our social medias, right?
Yes.
So we have people will contact us on social media.
They will.
And so you can email us directly at skyeanddamo@gmail.com.
Yeah.
We've got our Instagram.
Yeah, in my lounge room.
And our Facebook.
In my lounge room podcast.
So people know where we are. We've got a few hundred followers now, which is really good. Which is, hopefully you're all listening.
You better be. Except for Sarah.
And and message. Yeah, she definitely does not listen.
She likes all our social media.
Yeah, I know she's very supportive, but she doesn't do it. But I've got friends who don't listen to podcasts. So I said, I do a podcast. And they're like, I don't listen to podcasts.
Yeah, my sister doesn't listen.
Yeah.
Very rarely.
That's all good.
She's like, I listen, but it's just exhausting to listen to. I'm like, I literally listen to podcasts.
Well, you know what? I'm getting direct feedback from people who say that we're a delight to listen to. So,
right.
All right. We're lovely.
We are lovely.
Spending an afternoon with us. You don't have to listen. I know we generally go for about an hour and a quarter.
Do you remember when we were all like, we'll do about 30 to 40 minutes?
Yeah, no, we can't do that. Like an hour even. Like we've wrapped it an hour now.
I know.
So this is where we start to wind down.
We do.
But it takes us about 15 minutes to wrap it up.
That's true.
And then I chuck a 5-minute song on the end of it and do an outro.
Great.
So it's about it. Yeah. But you don't have to listen to it in one go. Like when I listen to The Dollop, they can be nearly 2 hours.
Oh, I know, but I love it. I'm addicted.
So you break it up into a few times.
Yeah. And maintenance phase is usually about an hour and a half.
Yeah,
so I listen over a couple of nights. Yeah.
And if we had advertising, it'd be even longer because you got to break it up to fit the ads in. But Anyway, on our social medias,
Yes.
we've had some nice comments.
Amazing comments.
But we received a message on Facebook from a lovely young lady
Yes.
who wishes to remain anonymous.
Which is a shame because I'd like to shout it everywhere. 'Cause she's amazing.
Made us a whole bunch of graphics.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've uploaded a couple to socials, and
Yep.
I'll have to change the Spotify account,
Yeah.
etc. But it looks amazing.
She made a couple that were like, she gave us different formats as well. So
Yeah.
she's done them in like the right aspect ratio to be a Facebook banner.
Yeah.
So like there's a extra long one which
Yeah.
you could use for like
YouTube.
or even like if you use it as a Facebook, because I know like on your phone, the one that
Yeah.
you've put up there
Is for mobile.
Is for mobile.
Yeah.
But the longer one that she's made, if you put that up on there, it'll shrink for your phone.
Yeah, and then for the
but on the
desktop.
desktop you'll be able to see the
Yeah,
whole
which I
thing.
will do when
But
I get on a desktop.
But she's got the we just do it on your phone, it will just come up like
Yeah,
no,
true.
it reshapes
No,
it.
it doesn't,
But
yeah.
yeah, there's ones where like she's even gone to the effort of there's a lounge room, okay? So
Yeah.
you see the couch and it's got in my lounge room there and it's in our colours. And she's got like there's a bookshelf.
Yeah.
And it's got all these books.
Yeah, like relationships.
Relationships,
And,
lifting,
Yeah.
health,
and then she's got like little
cooking.
caricatures of us.
Yeah,
I know.
in pictures on the
Yes.
wall. And so there's one with you doing like a
Lifting.
you've got a
Yeah.
huge barbell. It
I
looks
know.
like there's like 4 plates on each end. So
Easy.
you've got like 160
Yeah.
kilos above
Woo!
your head, which is great.
Every week
And you're
at the
just,
gym.
like, smiling.
Yeah.
And then you with a microphone
Yeah.
doing some karaoke.
Yes.
There's a picture of a guitar.
Yeah. With like live music,
rock or
rocks
something
whatever.
like that, yeah. And
There's
then there's
you
me in
the
the kitchen, like cooking.
Yeah.
And then there's the kids.
which I thought was awesome. And there's 2 boys and a girl.
yeah, and they're sitting and they're like on a pile of books
And then
they're
Benjamin
reading
just
and
looks
playing.
really like cheeky.
Yeah,
Which is
well, he is.
Yeah.
And what was
And
the
Crumpet.
Crumpet's there? Got a pussycat. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, and I mean, she said in her messages she's listened to every episode. She's a big fan, and she clearly pays attention to what we talk about. I mean, we do tend to talk about the same things over and over and over.
Yeah.
But
awesome subjects.
I mean,
that they are.
it's really great, and she gave us some really nice comments.
Yeah, about how
what
it's
she
changed
gets-
her life
Yeah.
and
And
how
what she learns from it, and that's
Yeah.
the same with this girl at work, because she said to me, she's like, "You really are great to listen to. I really appreciate the
go.
time that I, that you spend." And it was really nice to have
is
positive
nice.
feedback. It's
Yeah.
way better than people saying the music's too loud,
oh, right.
or don't pick on men's spelling.
could be dyslexic or whatever. Yeah.
No, they're not. And we don't need to go over that again. But if I'm making fun of someone, it's not because of their spelling.
It's
It's
not.
because it just gives me some more ammunition to be like, I mean, go and watch. If you're that easily offended, don't go ever watch any stand-up comics.
Never. No.
And
no.
don't listen to the dollop.
Definitely
You
don't
will
listen to the dollop.
If you're super right wing and conservative, that is
Listen.
not the. Yeah, actually, you should listen to the dollop. Those guys are mega left.
Oh, so left.
Mega
I love them.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love them.
That's,
yeah.
and they are and they're very like Dave. He is very forthright in his opinions.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh, I just love. I'm so glad that you introduced, and it took me a little while. Now I'm
Yeah.
addicted.
Oh, there's how many episodes? Is there?
500 or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, I'm good to
Have
go
fun
for a
with
while.
that. It took me. I listened to them every single day for about a year and a half to catch
Wow.
up, and now I'm up to date.
It's
But I
going to
just-
take me years.
So what I do is like other podcasts I listen to, I'll listen to them on the day they're released.
Yes. Yeah.
And then for the rest of the week, I'll listen to the
Well,
dollop.
that's sort of what I'm doing
Yeah.
at the moment
Yeah.
because, like, I'm addicted, and like then I'll message you random things like, "Oh my god, how hilarious about Checkers" or something, and you're like, "Skye, like I've listened to so many episodes."
Yeah, I don't know. It's like how many 700 hours of the
Yeah.
dollop I've heard.
And I just expect you to go, "Oh, that's right, Skye. I remember that episode."
Oh, they're all mixed into. It's like
Yeah.
for me, if I tell you a story about something that happened to me when I was very young, like I'm not saying as a child, but like there's a period of my life between when I was like maybe 17, 18, let's say, and about 21, where that could all be the same night.
Oh,
Like,
same.
It's like the
Yeah.
shit I did.
Yeah,
where I'll
same.
be like, oh, I did this and then I went and did that. And like, Damo,
Yeah.
they were like 6 months
Oh,
apart.
I hate to think.
Yeah, all right, don't
yeah.
worry. I drank a lot.
Yeah.
It was-
Yeah, I lived with a backpackers. Every
Yeah.
night was the same.
yeah, it's the same
but
shit.
a different man.
Yeah. Hopefully it wasn't too much the same because, God, I mean, we'll wrap it up, but have you seen or have I made you watch Black Mirror?
I haven't. I keep seeing it come up on Netflix. And I'm like, I need to start watching this.
You need to watch Black Mirror, and specifically, you need to watch season 4, episode 4, Hang the DJ.
You told me
It's
about
about
this
dating,
one.
yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Can I just go straight to that episode? Or you feel
It's
like
all anthology. There's
Okay,
you
great.
can watch any
Right,
episode.
I'm going to do that
in any
tonight
order.
when the boys are asleep.
Just watch that episode specifically, and it will. There are. I'm not going to go into too
Online
much.
dating
but
is awful. Let's be honest. Yeah.
But there's that's one of those where you kind of.
I remember
go,
you told me it's the one
"Whoa."
where like they you date someone so long that the relationship would last or something. Is that
No, your relationship is. The time frame is predetermined.
Yes, that's it.
So
yeah,
I can't
right.
remember
Don't
what
tell
I
me
say,
more, but
but
I'm going to watch it
Yeah.
tonight because I've been meaning to watch it.
And everyone has
Hey, it
to
took
do
me
it.
like ages to get to the dollop. So
watch that episode. And I think
Okay.
everyone out there who listens to this, it would be relevant to your interests
Yeah,
as
okay.
someone who likes this podcast. Is go and watch. I'm pretty sure it's season 4, episode 4. I've watched it a lot of times, but it's called Hang the DJ, and it's
Cool.
but yeah, you can watch it in any order.
Yeah.
They're
But now
all
I'm going to watch that tonight.
unrelated, but
And then I'm going to be like, oh my God.
it's a
bit
little
like,
it's a little bit depressing at first.
I can handle it.
But
I'm
there's-
watching like, not Lord of the Rings, but whatever it's called at the moment, the dragon one.
House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon.
Yeah, that's a Game of Thrones one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
just saying, like, that's pretty depressing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't watched. I'm not watching
Yeah.
it, but yeah, I can understand. It's at least it's a
dragons.
fantasy place.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Black Mirror is also a fantasy place,
But it could
doesn't
actually
exist.
be real.
But it's quite real. Like a lot of the episodes are like, if we that could happen.
Oh, yeah, I need to watch it.
There's an episode where people rate each other.
Oh.
Like where like you rate your Uber and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Like it's a friend. Like you rate your
Everyone,
friends almost.
everyone has
So just any time you have an interaction with
any
someone?
interaction
so I
you
could
have
just
to
like
rate it.
see my sister and then she could be like, that was a 4 today.
Yeah.
Oh.
However,
Yeah.
where the black part of it comes
Yeah.
in is how high you're rated determines where you're allowed to live, like what suburb you're, like which side of the wall you're
Yeah.
allowed to live on, what kind of job you're allowed to have, where you're allowed to eat. So if your rating, let's say, drops below 3, you're
are
not allowed to
homeless.
live in the fancy suburb
Okay.
anymore. You have to move down to slumland. You're not allowed, like you might get fired because the firm you work for wants people who are 4s.
Can you increase your rating?
Watch the show.
Okay. Yeah. Don't say
Yeah.
anymore. Okay.
Because, of course you can increase your rating by the way that you interact with other people, but can you imagine, hypothetically,
Yeah.
how you would start to act if you knew you had like a 3 rating?
Yeah.
How would you personally act to try and get your rating
Well,
up?
you'd definitely be a lot more fake, wouldn't you? Okay.
Let's just linger on
And
that
then
thought.
yeah.
How do you think it would affect your mental health?
It wouldn't.
It wouldn't be great,
Well, it
would
would be
it?
detrimental,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. So
and I
anyway.
could see. I feel like you'd be like women might even like prostitute themselves to try and get their rating up and things like that.
You might do all sorts of things,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay, I'm watching
Yeah.
this. Guess what I'm doing tonight? I'll be like 2 a.m. I'll be like, I've just watched all 4 seasons.
I think that's 5. Thankfully, being that it's a British show, and with a lot of British shows, it's quality over quantity.
Yeah.
So there's only like 5 or 6 episodes per
Oh,
season.
cool,
So it's
okay.
not like watching some American thing where
Where
it's
it's like
28
37.
fucking
Yeah,
episodes.
yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, but yeah. So put in some effort. It doesn't matter what the effort is. It could be, hey, let me pick your plate up and put it away for you.
Yeah,
because
that would be nice.
You've been at work all day, and I know that you have a really hard day, or listening to someone.
Listen is
You
a good
put-
one.
yeah.
People don't listen enough, even in conversations. I find they'll just listen, ready to jump in.
People, there's a saying that's listening to respond, not listening to understand.
Yeah, and it's very true.
Yeah, you should listen to understand. So just something as simple as that is like when someone's talking to you, listen to what they say, and then it goes back to that what we were saying last week. Engage with people. Put some effort into conversation. Put some effort into your relationships. Put some effort into God. Like I walked past a man asleep on the street yesterday. And like he was like passed out, and people are just stepping over him and like looking at him, and I'm like, dude could be dead.
Could be.
I've kind of walked past and I've looked at him just to make sure he was
Yeah.
breathing, and then I've looked, and just down the road at the traffic lights there was 2 police officers, and so I've turned around, I've walked back to the guy, and I've given a little shake, and he's looked at me, he's woken up, and he's like, oh, I'm all right. I'm like, cool, man, the cops are coming, so just sit up.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, yeah, no, I'm all right. And when he sat up, he had a huge welt on the side of his head where he's either fallen over and hit his head. And I'm like, cool. Just making sure, all right, cops are across the road, so you might not want to be unconscious here. Sit up. And so he sit up. And then as I'm walking, the cops have walked past me and they're like, oh, we're just going to go have a talk to him, thanks. And I'm like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
But I still was like, I need to make sure that they're not going to go over there and like, you know, treat him like some
piece of rubbish.
Yeah, because he's like they weren't.
Yeah.
But I was still kind of give him the heads up so that he can prepare himself for the cops are about to come and talk. A little bit of effort.
Well,
Be nice
I mean,
to
after
humans.
everything have you been reading about what's going on with Queensland Police? I know we're wrapping this up,
No.
but whoa, like they're just the misogyny, but also like the racism, the everything. They're bigots.
Okay, remember Rodney Roode?
Yeah.
Rodney Roode had a song called Queensland Cops. Now, Rodney Roode was big in the 80s.
Yeah, wow. Well, nothing's
So things
changed.
don't change.
Yeah, nothing's
And it
changed.
went, Queensland Cops, they really know the way to lose their jobs.
Yeah,
They
well.
get the prostitutes to gobble their knobs. Queensland Cops. Anyway.
Well, nothing's changed. It's still really bad, and like really bad to women and like, you know, gay men, etc.
Yeah, go Queensland.
Woo!
Woo!
Yeah, I'll be going
Okay.
for the Blues every rugby, except I don't follow. But yeah,
There, how about that local sporting team?
Woo!
Yeah.
Okay.
Although, Dockers die hard over here.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's different.
How do you go in summer? What are your sports on?
Like cricket, tennis,
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, we've
the
got
boys,
the men's,
boys.
the 2020 World Cup.
Yeah. Yes, because Benjamin was commenting, can we go to the cricket?
Yeah.
Because Australia's playing this summer. I'm like, I'll see what I can do.
2020 is fun.
Well, I've taken the boys to the Scorchers a couple of
Yeah.
times, and it's heaps of fun.
Company I used to work for was major sponsor. I went to every single like for the 3 years that I
Yeah.
worked there, every single home game, including finals.
Hang on, were we friends then?
No, this is years
That's
ago.
lucky then,
Yeah.
because if we had been, I wouldn't
No,
be friends
and
with
it
you
was
now.
also like we didn't have a box. Like the corporate,
Yeah,
they
of
did have a
course.
box,
Yeah.
but like
But you just got
for the
tickets.
staff, we
Yeah.
got tickets to just off Long On. Depending on which left hand, let's say a right-handed batter. So
Okay.
we're at Long On
Yeah.
for a right-handed batter. Left-handed batter, Long On. It's a long off. Anyway, 4 rows from the fence.
That's
Which
good.
is so good
That
because
is
like
really
you can
good.
from there you can talk to the fielders.
Yes.
And part of the fun of
Is
cricket
interacting.
is heckling the fielders.
Yes.
Like when they're out there, you can. You know, Mitchell Johnson was playing.
Oh, gosh, okay, yeah.
And they're like, "Yo, Mitch, give us away," or you know, or when it's some like Freddie Flintoff.
Yeah, or
and
you
was
give him
like,
so much
You're
hass.
just giving him
Yeah.
shit because he's a pom.
Yeah,
you
of
know,
course,
and
yeah,
why not?
yeah.
And they love it.
They do
you're not
love it.
being
That's the best
abusive.
thing about
Yeah,
cricket.
cricket, you can
Yeah.
interact with because they're standing there,
Right, and they're not
walk in
doing anything
They come
often.
back and you can give them shit for missing the, you know,
Yeah.
missing the stumps or what was that, you know. I'm sitting there and my
Mm.
mate Ashley, she's texted me. She's like, "Oh, I'm at the cricket." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm always at the cricket."
Mm.
She was with her husband and one of her kids, I think, like 20 rows back
Yeah.
up in the nosebleeds.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, this is where I am." So I took a photo of my position and she's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, fuck, you're down in front of Mitchell Johnson, like behind Mitchell Johnson."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh my God, he is so fucking hot."
Yeah,
And so
true.
I've taken, this is creepy and weird, but I've zoomed in on my phone and taken a close up of his ass,
Oh my
right? Because I
God.
know she
Yeah,
loved it.
yeah.
And then I've sent it to her. She's like, "Oh my God, I'm coming to sit with you. Is there anyone sitting next to you?" I'm like, "No, I've actually got a spare seat because I had 2 tickets and
Yeah.
then this friend couldn't come, so I came anyway, and I've just got my esky sitting on that seat."
Yeah.
So yeah, come down. So she came down and sat with me for a while so she could perv on
That-
Mitchell
I would have
Johnson's
done the
butt.
same.
Yeah.
He is very attractive, still is, and he's
Yeah.
like not playing anymore.
Yeah, and he's got his like sleeve tattoos.
Yeah,
and
he's
stuff. And she's
awesome.
like, "Yeah, no."
Yeah, he's totally- yeah, I would date
like,
him.
I'm like, and she's just like, she said to her husband, "I'm going down here to
I
sit
mean,
with Damo
I
to
get
perv
it.
on Mitchell Johnson." I'm
I
like,
get
"Yeah,
it.
come on down."
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, that was fun. Many a sunburned evening.
Wrapping
We
up.
could talk about sports. We said last week we're going to talk about dreams, and we didn't do that. So in the
didn't.
future, I really
Dreams
want to
can come true.
so let's still call out to people.
Yes.
Send us your dreams.
Yes.
Because I want to talk about other people's dreams so we can pretend that we know what we're talking about.
Yeah, I
can
mean, we
break them
don't.
down.
I've got some cool dreams, but I've never had like, you know, what do you call them again? The
Lucid dreams,
Lucid, that's
where you
it. No,
control
my
them.
dreams
Yeah,
have just
I've had
been
many lucid
when
dreams.
I
Yeah.
randomly smoked for that small period of my time life. I went on Zyban to
Mm-hmm.
quit, and the dreams were next level.
I never been a smoker, but
I only was for a very short time.
yeah, I think that like I've always, I mean, I don't like being drunk. I don't know if I can't really remember if it's affected my dreams. Used to smoke weed.
I think drugs definitely
and
affect.
I think that may have like stopped the dreams being as
Yes,
vivid.
probably.
But I don't really remember that being a case. I think I've always had really full-on
I
dreams.
have great dreams that I finish and I'm just like, I wish I had a pattern. That's a book.
But I love the dreams that like sometimes are super weird and then the other ones where they're super real. Like, so there's no like set for me. I also had a dream where I murdered somebody.
Okay.
But anyway, we'll
I've
talk
never
about
had
that
Yeah,
next
let's
week.
talk about next week. Okay,
All right,
cool. Bye.
See ya. Thank you for listening to In My Lounge Room. Intro music written and performed by Damien McKay. This week's outro song was performed by Damien McKay. All guitars, vocals and digital programming was done by Damo. Originally performed by Rob Zombie, songwriters Rob Zombie and Scott Humphrey. And I'm your other host, Damo, and on this week's episode... And I'm your other host, Damo, and on this week's episode, we're talking about... What were we talking about?
Give and take.
Making an effort.
There you go.